Hello and welcome to my divisional round reactions. But before I get to them, I would like to thank everybody for watching these videos. They're getting views that I would not have imagined. A couple of the Madden ones have 300 views, which is ridiculous, and I'm gaining subscribers. But like and subscribe to add to that, and let's get right to the reaction. So the first game that went off saw the at-home Denver Broncos beating the Buffalo Bills in overtime on a field goal. This game was one of the best playoff games I think I've ever watched. That wasn't a Super Bowl, obviously. But at the same time, it was also a little disappointing on Josh Allen's part because while his stats do look okay, going 25 for 39, almost 300, 3 touchdowns, he got picked off twice and he fumbled it twice. He literally threw the ball backwards, it seemed, on one play, and I didn't understand why he did that. Now, I understand that Denver's defense is good, but that it wasn't. It was a little concerning to see from him, honestly, because he fumbled it twice, and then after the game, he was genuinely disappointed. But he just didn't have a good game. But James Cook rushed for 117, couldn't get in the end zone, and neither could Josh Allen. On the ground, Dalton Kincaid led the team in receiving and got a receiving touchdown, as Keon Coleman and McCole Hardman Jr. got the other two. The defense could not sack Bo Nix, but they did pick him off once, as Cole Bishop led the team in tackles and assists, and Matt Prater actually was the one that sent this game into overtime, kicking that game-tying field goal in the last seconds of the fourth quarter, but ultimately scoring 12 points with your foot isn't enough to win the game. And now we have Bo Nix playing an absolutely great game. He went 26 for 49, 279, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. He also led the team in rushing, but nobody could get in the end zone on the ground. Receiving was led by Marvin Mims, who had 93 yards and a touchdown, and the two other touchdowns went to Lil Jordan Humphrey and Frank Crum. But the defense was kind of where this team excelled because they got to Josh Allen those 3 times. They picked him off twice. They forced 1, 2, 3, 4 fumbles, recovering 3 of them, which is ridiculous. Alex Singleton getting a fumble, PJ Locke getting a fumble, and Nick Bonito getting 2 fumbles. They just had a great game, and they completely shut Buffalo down. Will Lutz also kicked them 15 very needed points, and he's just been money this entire season for them. Now, the thing that truly ended the game for Buffalo was that pass interference call at the end of the game, and then the subsequent other penalty because the guy was losing his mind. The way that I see it, that was pass interference, but you can't go up to the ref and yell at him. But it was just a crazy game to watch. I thought Buffalo had it. Obviously, I picked them to win. But Denver is moving on to the AFC Championship once again. However, as you just saw, Bo Nix is out. And that's because he broke his foot or had a fracture in his foot or whatever it was. The Denver Broncos are riding with Jarrett Stidham as their quarterback for the AFC Championship. And now we have the Seattle Seahawks completely dismantling the 49ers. And the Seahawks literally scored enough points in the first, I think, 13 seconds of the game to beat the 49ers. So Brock Purdy sucked. Couldn't put up 150 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. Rushing also couldn't do anything, and receiving couldn't do anything. And the defense sacked Sam Darnold a couple times or once, and Eddie Pinheiro scored literally the only points for the 49ers as they got completely destroyed. Sam Darnold had the most Sam Darnold game ever, 12 for 17, less yards than Purdy. Had a passing touchdown, though, did get sacked twice. Kenneth Walker is the greatest player on this team, and I don't think it's even close. He had 19 carries for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. He literally got a hat trick. Rashid Shaheed had the kick return touchdown at the start of the game, which was ridiculous. That pretty much won them the game. Cooper Kupp led the team in receiving, but JSN got the receiving touchdown. And then you have all these stats are against Brock Purdy, where they sacked him a couple times, picked him off, and they just kept forcing fumbles. They forced 3 and recovered 2, sorry. But I'm going to be honest, after that opening touchdown, I turned this game off because I knew that it was over. Jason Myers did kick them 11 points, so their kicker could have also just won them this game alone. But yeah, it's ridiculous that you hear the 49ers fans saying, oh, oh, but we can beat them with an injury. And then when they put up 6 points and put up and let up 41, it's the injuries. We would have won this game if we didn't have them, which is probably not true because 41 points is 41 points. But this was ridiculous to see out of the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm honestly scared about them because it's looking like they're going to win the Super Bowl. And now we have my favorite game of the week, where the New England Patriots are going back to the AFC Championship after a 28-16 win over the Houston Texans. However, both teams sucked. Sorry, I shouldn't say both teams. Drake May sucked. CJ Stroud just happened to suck a lot worse. He almost attempted 50 passes, getting sub 220. Got one touchdown, was picked off literally 4 times. He had a pick six too, which I was losing my mind watching it at work. But Christian Kirk, not Charlie Kirk, got the receiving touchdown as Jaden Higgins didn't put up many yards. And the defense was honestly great for Houston. I feel so bad for all of them. They picked off Drake May. They forced 4 fumbles. Al-Shaair recovered 2 of them, but I feel so bad for their defense just because they were doing so good. They have the best defense in the National Football League, and it's close with the Seattle Seahawks, obviously, but they blew it. They didn't blow it. CJ Stroud blew it. Because when you have that caliber defense, you just need your quarterback to play somewhat competent, and they would have won this game. But CJ Stroud literally had the worst game of his career right when he didn't need it. But Ka'imi Fairbairn did kick them 10 points. But now it is time to look at the Patriots because although this does look like a standard Drake May stat line, he fumbled the ball a lot. It was terrible to see. Ramondre Stevenson, amazing running back. I don't know what changed with him. Kayshon Boutte had the greatest one-handed catch. I'm not going to say the greatest one-handed catch. OBJ has the greatest one-handed touchdown catch. But Kayshon Boutte may have the catch of the playoffs. And if it's not Kayshon Boutte, then it's Stephon Diggs. Because he had a football in his hands that he should not have. He caught that while getting tackled from 2 different sides, and he still completed the pass and still completed the catch. It was a beautiful ball from Drake May. So was the one for Kayshon. But the one for Diggs was right in his hands, and he still came down with it. Demario Douglas also getting that 4th down conversion touchdown. But receiving did great. Drake May didn't have a great game. He kept fumbling the football. I'm honestly worried that the Patriots are going to lose in the AFC Championship just because of how much Drake May was fumbling. However, our defense was amazing. They sacked Stroud 3 times. They also picked him off 4 times, as Carlton Davis III was the MVP of this game because he got 2 interceptions. And we forced a fumble. We also recovered said fumble. And Borregales kicked us the 4 extra points, and he didn't need to kick a field goal. But our secondary is amazing because they are too scared to throw to Gonzo, and then Carlton Davis just picks off the football. So I'm not claiming victory for the Patriots by any means against the Broncos because it's going to be close. I genuinely need to think about my predictions for next week because it's very scary because the Patriots sucked, Drake May sucked, and they're going into Mile High, and that's a really hard place to play. But good win this week, advancing to the AFC Championship, and let's get to the final game. And now we have another overtime field goal victory with the Rams beating Chicago in Chicago. Now, taking a look at Matthew Stafford's stat line, he was consistent. He couldn't get a touchdown, though, but that's because Kyron Williams got 2 on the ground. Stafford also had -1 yard, but it is what it is. But receiving couldn't do an awful lot. Puka Nacua and Colby Parkinson tied on yards. And the defense picked off Caleb Williams 3 times. Kobe Durant has 2. So I don't know what happened to Caleb Williams. He low-key blew it. But Harrison Mevis is also the GOAT. I love him. He won the Rams the game, although I was rooting for the Bears because I can never, in good faith, root for a Los Angeles-based team. But, that's just because of the rivalry that is sitting on this wall and that wall. Boston hates LA, so that means I hate LA. And, but, Caleb Williams literally threw this game away. He did put up a decent stat line other than the 3 picks, and that touchdown at the end of the game, almost the end of the game, the touchdown to tie it was one of the greatest plays I think I've ever seen out of Caleb Williams, because it was just he ran out of the pocket after it collapsed in on him, and he just bombed it downfield for a beautiful pass and a beautiful catch. Rushing, couldn't get in the end zone, but DJ Moore and Cole Kmet could in the air. And they sacked Stafford what seems to be 3 times, if I can count, which I can't because it's 4. But they also forced 2 fumbles, but they didn't recover any of them. And Cario Santos did kick them 5 points. But now that I'm done looking at the stats, because I want to cover those, Rams Seahawks is it's going to be an interesting game, because in both of the playoff games that the Rams have played, they've only won by 3 points. And in the one playoff game that the 49ers played, not the 49ers, and in the one playoff game that the Seahawks played, they won by 35. So, if that tells us anything, the Seahawks should, on paper, completely dismantle the Rams, and it shouldn't be close. I don't know if that's the case, though, because Sean McVay is a great head coach. Matthew Stafford is also a great quarterback when he needs to be. And he clearly just didn't think he needed to be against the Bears because he sucked. But I don't know. I'm not going to make any predictions yet, obviously. This isn't the predictions video, and I want to milk as much content out of the playoffs as I can. But it'll be a fun game to watch, but main point is that the Rams won and the Bears lost, and the Bears actually have a future with this quarterback. But just one last piece of news. The Bills literally just fired Sean McDermott, and this comes out of nowhere. I didn't really think that they were going to do that because it was all Josh Allen's fault that they lost to Denver. But I guess they're done with him, and I would love to see him. Honestly, I don't know where I'd like to see him go, because he's clearly going to get a head coaching job. He's amazing. He might go to Miami, which would honestly be really weird to see him in a Miami uniform, especially because they're a division rival, but I don't see him going anywhere else. But now that that's cleared up, I can actually do the outro. That is going to do it for today's video, so thanks again for watching. I love making these videos. They're a lot of fun. I now just got to find the time to make them. But I hope all you have a very good day. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.